Hello, so I just finished reading the book The Girl You Left Behind, written by JoJo Moyes. This would be my third book, which I read, written by JoJo Moyes. So the first one is Me Before You, and then I read The Foreign Fruit. So this is my third book of her. Well, it's a very simple story. I think this story is somewhat similar to the previous book of her, which I read, The Foreign Fruit, because similar to that one, they talk about two stories. One happened somewhere in the past, and another story which is connecting to the past. So it has the same flow as The Foreign Fruit, actually. So if you are a fan of Foreign Fruit, you would obviously like this book as well. So I'll give a very basic summary of the story. So in the first half, they talk about incident which happens during the First World War in a very small village in Paris, in France. The town's name is Saint-Pronom, and the story is based around the girl Sophie. Sophie is married, and her husband is a very nice painter, and he has gone for the war. And the town was managed by the Germans, actually. So Sophie and her sister has a very small restaurant. They call it Bar Le Coq Rouge, and at that time the town situation is very bad, because the Germans are not letting the French people to eat properly. They don't have proper clothes. They don't have proper food for their families and kids. So everything is they're in a very bad shape. But somehow the new German commander, he's also following all the rules and all, but somehow Sophie's restaurants get to serve for these Germans, actually. And specifically Sophie sees some good in the German command, actually. The story is actually based on one of the a very particular material, that is in the bar. They describe about a particular painting. That's a painting of Sophie, which was painted by her husband. The painting's name is The Girl You Left Behind. So the story is actually connected with the painting, actually, because her commander in the sense, the German commander, he's actually interested in the painting, the brushwork and all those things. He admires it. Amidst that, he's fighting in the war and he's killing people. All these things are happening, but at the same point he has a very soft corner or a soft spot for these paintings and brushwork. So somehow there's the first half, there's a little bit of tragedy here and there, because they do show us about what was happening during the war. Like, as in, at the end of the day, we realize that war was happening, people were dying in both ends, but you can't really point a finger to one person and say, like, this is all your fault and all, because they're just part of the war. As in, French were afraid of the Germans, or Germans were, in a way, like, they were fighting. It's like, if you take it individually, like, individually everyone is innocent, but when it comes to war, one party is killing, one country is killing the other countrymen. That's how it is. So at the end of the first half, it leaves us a big question, as in, like, what happens to Sophie, and what happens to the painting that they were talking about. And the second half, they talk an incident in the present, actually. And in the second half, the main character is Liv. Actually, her name is Olivia Halston. Olivia is also actually, her husband has died 4 years ago, and she lives in this particularly designed a different sort of a house, which was designed by her former husband, who is an architect. And somehow this painting is in Liv's house. So the painting which we discuss in the first half, which was painted during the First World War, is visible in Liv's bedroom after many years, because the painting was first painted in they talk about the painting first in 1917. So imagine, from 1917 the painting was in France, and the painting has traveled so many places, and it ended in London, in Liv's living room. So the story is all about connecting dots about the painting, how it went there and how it happened, and also about learning what happened to Sophie, the person who is in the painting. In both the first half and the second half, we see the romance, we see the beauty of the romance. It's nice, actually. It's nice to read. There's a bit of magic in every character, especially I think when I'm talking about the characters, I think I really love the romance which Liv finds actually in the second half, than the love story which Sophie encountered. Because in Sophie's story, it's all about the war and the terror and all those things, but in Liv's life, like, you don't see that much of terror and all. Liv has her own problems, but when you read it, like, you would get attracted to Liv's story, actually. So that is a very short description about the book The Girl You Left Behind. I do really hope if you read it, you'll find it very, very, very interesting. So enjoy.
ඉක්මන් වශරුම් එකට ගිහිල්ලා ඔය එන්නේ පස්සේ